everyone, and welcome to session 5 of my Magnetize Solar program with my one-on-one client, Lise. My name is Sreshtha Tewari. I am an emotional intelligence love and relationship coach specializing in magnetizing soul love and particularly twin flame relationships. So in this session with Lise, hi Lise.
Hi, Shri.
We're going to talk about her 3 wins from last week, and then we're going to talk about her past relationships. It is very important to understand how your past relationships help you grow and whatever lessons you learn from them, as opposed to hating on them or not liking that you went through them, because everything in your life has power to uplevel you and your journey and your soul. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then I'm going to do some parts work with her. So I invite you to follow along and do your own journey as I do it with her. Okay, Lise, so how are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay, so we're just gonna do some grounding and then we're gonna go into your humans, right? So you just gonna
Okay,
close
sure.
your eyes, put your feet flat on the floor, and just sink into the chair, feeling supported, feeling loved, knowing that you are guided and protected. And we're gonna take a deep breath in and out. Another breath in and out. Last time in and out. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right. So tell me, what were 3 wins for last week?
So much. I have so much wins.
Oh, good, good. Tell me
But
all.
oh gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I focused on three main ones, right? And a lot of them came out from that. So the first one was one day when I was driving to work. I always have my car on this particular radio station. And it played one of my like very old favorite songs that I haven't heard in a while. You know, sometimes there's a favorite song that you had
Yeah.
in the past and you forget it exists because you don't even hear it.
Yeah.
But I heard it on the radio station one day from work and I don't know, it just made me feel really, I was like, oh my God, that song. So that was one.
That is confirmation from the universe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Something like that. That is something that you have a nostalgia to, something that makes you
Mm-hmm.
happy. Those things are confirmation from the
Yeah.
universe on the right path.
And I
Okay.
think as I mentioned that the last session, or if it wasn't the last, only one before, you told me to, when I'm like praying or something, to ask for signs or things like that. And I did that
Yeah.
same weekend. Was it last session?
Can't remember. I
Remember?
have tablets in my system, so nothing clearly, but I know I told you that.
Yeah. So if it was the last session, then that means the same Saturday, I would have went to church and asked for that. So I don't know if it's lining up like that.
Yeah. No, yeah. And
Yeah.
your favorite song on the radio is that is also a sign. That's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
sign that, and you may have more than one as well. So,
I actually heard two, but the one that I heard yesterday,
uh-huh.
I hear it a lot more often than the one that I never heard. I mean, as I say, I forgot it was a favorite
Yeah.
song of mine. Yeah,
Okay, good. Well, that's clear communication.
yeah.
So
Okay, good. I'm glad that you told me that.
yeah.
The next one was that I had a meeting. This so school just started back, but her school is already on the planning stage for graduation. So I had that meeting this week with her school, and she's in Form 5, as you know. So just listening to like the planning and um all the leading activities because it's like two graduation ceremonies, one before the write exam and then the big ball. And then they even spoke about exams and preparing them for the exams. And I found myself getting teary-eyed because I was in my head thinking, oh, how did I reach here? Like, I
Yes.
just had her the other day. Or I was just planning for my graduation the other day. But I mean, I got sad, but it's just like, just know it's such a wonderful moment to know that your product, something that you produce, um, is like just excelling in this area of life and just watching them grow from each step. And I know we spoke about this in a previous session too,
Hmm.
but just like putting everything into reality and seeing that.
Yes. And that is a lot of your creation and your
Hmm.
like, beauty and the all the good that you put out into the world is manifested in her. And
Yeah,
you actually
correct.
have physical proof because you have a daughter,
Mm,
right? So
yeah.
it's really good that this is one of your wins and to keep sitting in that appreciation and glory and pride. And pride is not a bad thing. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's really good for you to acknowledge that and soak all of that in. Good.
Yeah. And the last one is my girlfriend and I.
Hmm.
We actually had a meetup. I mean, we talk all the time. I think I mentioned her in our next session where we have this kind of sister relationship. But we met up yesterday evening for a nice little dinner date. And it
Hmm.
was really nice because we were more speaking about updates in life with how work is going and how things are going. And it's just hearing and me being able to tell her the good things that are happening and she being able to tell me the same. Sometimes you have, and I just like in introspect, it made me realize how much both of us has grown because there was a point in time when anything bad happens, I would call her and we'd vent. And while that is good, yesterday was just we didn't even think of anything bad to vent about. It was just positive talk.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really awesome. And those are three really big wins.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You soak in all of your happiness and love from them.
Yeah, yeah.
Your girlfriend is you all at the same age?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so before we I just wanted, as this is your fifth session, right? So usually at the end of each month, I would with the client just go through their journey so far, just to be sure that they feel that they are progressing and
Mm-hmm.
moving along the journey. I don't like anybody to feel stuck and feel like they getting nowhere. So I just want to go through a little bit each of your sessions and the things we did and the things you learned, and you just tell me how you feel about it now. Sometimes when you look back, you see things a slightly bit differently than in the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
I just okay, so let me see. In your first session, that's the one where we did the dream guide design, and I actually feel like for you, you could even expand this design now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
based on conversations we have had. But we would have done your dream guide design, and we would have just done the meditation. But how do you feel about this person we created at that point in time? Do you feel this is still your person, or do you feel it can expand? And any answer is okay. Nothing is wrong.
Uh-huh. I think I think it could change. The person that I always, refer to in these sessions, and I know I would have said this to you before too, probably in conversations, was just like initial attraction. So outside he checks the box, and I know you would have mentioned mentally and emotionally, he maybe wouldn't be able to. But on the vision side of it, he checks all the boxes, right? And even like the general information that I may know in terms of where he lives, his job, his
Mhm.
family life, and things like that, right? Um, but I was always open to someone
Yes.
else. I think at this point though, I mean could I think he's like out of the way now. It's almost as if he comes, he comes. If he doesn't, okay. I know someone is out there. But yeah, I've always been open to someone else. I think just for me visualizing the life that I want, he was always like the easiest option for me to
Mhm.
fit in. Just
Mhm.
to put a picture rather than seeing someone that I can't make out or something like that. But yeah, I think at this point, I'm like, okay, I can probably see him in public and just wouldn't even bother at this point.
Yeah, so what I want you to do is you could print the email I sent you. You could print it.
Yeah, yeah.
So probably you could just print it out, and where you feel you could expand or change, if any, just go through it and see. And just pause,
Mm-hmm.
add with a pen. You don't need to do over the whole,
Yeah.
and just see what
Uh-huh.
changes, because it's just that um, you are giving yourself permission to expand what you believe you can call in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
okay. And that's good. And that's good. Okay, good. So that was that one. And in the second one, we did identity um, creation. So your three wins from that session was the second session was you maintained your routine for the weekday and for work. You closed a big project at work. You I gave you some homework on Mirror Talk to do, which you had said you had done, and then we created the your identity to attract who you wanted. And then we was your homework for that one was thinking about 5 ways in which you already have the family you want.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that was basically that session. And in that session, the meditation we had done with the waterfall, where you went in and you had gone through the waterfall after releasing.
Right.
Okay, and then session three. Right, so this one, your wins again was sticking to your schedule, having a meal with your daughter, and getting to bond, and dressing up for independence. And you did explore the 5 ways in which you already have the family you want, which was you already have a daughter, you went through pregnancy, carrying her and bonding with her. You didn't have any distractions because you didn't have a guy to say about. So you're able to just focus on her.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
you still live with your mom who takes care of you and you still have support from her. You have a best friend who's like a sister and can call on any time. I guess this is the same person. You have
Uh-huh.
a group of friends who you have had for over 10 years, and you enjoy watching each other grow, and you can call on them at any time. And you also lead a team at work. So that is how you already have the family you want. And you noticed people smiling at you. I think you had gone down for something and you just
Yeah, yeah.
you.
I remember that.
Okay, and we did the corridor. This was the one we did with the corridor, and also the attract the guy of your dreams meditation. And right, so when we did the corridor one, um, the version of you in it looked up and smiled, knowing that you can have whoever you want. And the other picture you remember is the current person. Well, I guess now he's kind of in the past. But before, you had said you wouldn't see yourself with that kind of person. But now, um, but now you know you can totally have that person or whoever you want. and you are more at peace with whatever happens, right? And your message in that session was you don't need anyone's validation. All along, you're doing well, and you are very smart. This was, I think, more on your family, the
Mm-hmm.
family.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in the last session, right, your wins were surviving back to school, handling heavy traffic, maintaining your diet, and you had gone for a mani and a pedi. And um, we did some work on disappointment in relationships, and your message was it had to happen in order for better to come. Right? So we were talking about, why certain things happen. And we can think of them as bad, but everything has a place. And that's why we said in this one we would actually talk through lessons and do the past work. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But let
Right.
me just ask you, so how you feel about um, your journey so far, and maybe what has been your biggest learning or takeaway on your from the 4 weeks.
Um, well, I just feel a lot more appreciative for everything that's been happening. Um, I do find that I look for the positive a lot in situations. Like
Okay.
even if I'm dealing with um coworkers or anything that it may not be too pleasing, I don't focus on the negative parts of it at all. I stay grounded, I stay appreciative of myself and my growth. And I just don't let things bother me anymore.
Okay. Good.
And then I think the biggest takeaway for me is um just knowing that, things take you- I guess you can't like limit yourself to what is what you want, I guess. Because you may think that what you want is the best thing ever, right? But when you really do the work on yourself, you start to see yourself as the best thing ever, and bigger than the thing that you want. When you focus on this whatever it may be person, and you believe that that person is so big, like vision wise, it might be like a big something that you just drawn to. But then when you really do the work on yourself, you expand so much that the thing that you're looking at becomes like a little speck.
Yeah, that is such a good description.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's why you
Yeah.
always stay open. You always
Mm-hmm.
stay
Yeah.
to, yeah, you want this, but you're always open. Okay, and is there anything you'd like to get better at? Like still you find you're still struggling with? I'm just asking.
Um, maybe I think it's maybe, and I think we spoke about this
That's okay.
conversation wise during the week.
Mhm.
I think it's because I feel so relaxed about things and just letting things happen the way it's supposed to. Sometimes I do feel like I'm not taking enough action for my person to come. Remember, we had mentioned it briefly this week. I think I just need to work on accepting that that is not the truth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually so good that you relax
Mm-hmm.
on bother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
And
actually
I know
so good.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I know you always tell me that. I remember even before we started these sessions, I think you used to tell me that. It's good that you're in that state, and that when you're in that state, that's when things actually happen. But there will come the time when maybe mostly around weekend time, because during the week you're so busy with work, so your mind not on it. That I may go into a state where, maybe I'm not concentrating enough or doing the energy work or the visualization work and the drawing in work
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's not happening.
Well, remember, it is happening.
Yeah.
It's happening. So what you could do when you feel like that is just ask, what can I do to love myself in this moment? And it could be as simple
Hmm.
as putting on your favorite song and singing it, or like what
Yeah,
you
yeah.
like to do, but something you like to do. But just ask yourself when you feel it. You could just remind yourself, oh wait, no, it's coming. Everything is unfolding, and just ask yourself. And I have to do this as well, right? What what can I do to love myself in this moment? Is there someone
Hmm.
behind you?
I don't think so.
I see a shadow move.
Outside.
It's outside, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just do that. Just and it's
Hmm.
normal.
Hmm.
At least we are human, and we have been told that if our minds are not occupied, something is wrong. Like we think we're lazy or we're not doing something. But that is
Hmm. Hmm.
in in energy work, the best place is for your mind to be still, unoccupied, and that's how you tune into your intuition,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Okay.
So that's completely normal, and I have experienced that too. So
Hmm.
when you feel it, just play a song. Well, I like to play a song that I like,
Hmm.
and I may sing to it or dance to it because I like those things. But whatever you like to do, even
Yeah,
if it's
yeah.
watching a movie or a TV show, because what you're doing is you're getting into the feeling that you will already have if the person is in your life, and how you get that feeling by doing things you already love. It's the same feeling.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah. I get it.
Okay, okay, good. All right, so let's talk about. You want to say anything else, or are you good with that?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so let's talk about your past relationships. Not all, just like if there are one or two that really hurt you, we just want to talk about what you learn from those. So, is it tell me how much like really, and if it's all 10, that's fine. We'll do.
Yeah.
We just have to do it in two sessions. But just you tell me, which are the
It's
ones that you
only it's one significant one, I would say.
want?
Just
Okay,
one.
okay. And if you had to think about what you learned, is this the same last one or is it a different one?
Yeah, it is.
The
It
same
is.
one? Okay. Right. And if you were to think about, and I think we spoke about it already, but what you learned from that, how did that relationship up level you to just make you see yourself in a better light, in an upgraded way, in a more empowered way? How did that relationship do that for you?
Well, the first thing I learned was that the relationship was a reflection of myself, right?
Okay.
Because I was that time I that was like right after COVID or during COVID is when it started, right? And then it ended however long ago. And that time I was like I put on a lot of weight
Okay.
and stuff. And I wasn't like deep down I didn't know this at that time, but
Yeah.
I wasn't happy with how I was looking or feeling because of the weight and none of my clothes was fitting and all those things were just
Mm-hmm.
affecting me and affecting my self-esteem and I didn't know it at the time. So what I learned coming out of it, of course, you're always devastated when a relationship comes to the end. And I think I had told you this last week where I remember just telling my friend, my girlfriend, not the same one, but another girlfriend that, I'm don't mind it ending because I really wasn't happy, but I just thinking, oh gosh, another failure, or another failed relationship. And, but now, like looking back, I realized that I needed to work on myself to make myself happy again and feel confident again. So that was when I started working out and losing the weight and then even taking pride in how I dress because now I could wear certain clothes and it looked good on me and, just take care of myself. And now at this point, how I take care of myself now if I were still with that person, it would totally look like a very imbalanced kind of yeah situation.
Okay, so what would you say is one thing, one gift that that person really gave you in terms of just your life or who you are? Is there one thing that if you were to meet him in heaven, let's just say, and you remember, oh yes, we went around, or um, what would you be thanking him for?
I would honestly be thanking him. The first thing that could come to my mind is I would have been thanking him for leaving the relationship or letting it end.
Oh, okay,
And the reason I say that is because at the point in time, how I felt about myself and where I'm at in life in terms of age and all of those things, I couldn't picture myself leaving. I would have felt like, well, look at how old is Lisa. You can't you can't keep leaving relationships. You're being picky, all these different things. And I think I would have like most people or relationships that I know of, you just settle as a woman. You just settle because, well, this is what I have and I'm not happy, but I'm settling because if I leave, I had to start the dating process all over again, right? And I really felt like I was like that and I would have never left. But the fact that he ended it is what kind of pushed me to do more work on myself and really see my worth from doing the work on myself.
good.
So I
And
would actually thank him for doing that because if he didn't, who knows, I would have probably still be stuck in this unhappy situation.
yeah, and that's such a powerful lesson because, of course, even though we don't want it to end, we get vexed too when they end it, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so that is such a powerful lesson that he did something that maybe you were mad at him for, like ending the relationship, but you realize that that was a gift to you to help to push you to do more work on yourself.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Is there anything else you would thank him for?
Mainly just that. Mainly, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And that is so powerful. So if you were to
hmm
think of that relationship now, how do you, and be honest, right? Like what comes up in your body? Do you still feel any, um, I don't think it'll be anger for you, but it might be slight upset. Do you still feel any of that? Or are you like, hey, no, that was part of my life. I'm glad he was in my life, and I'm grateful for the lesson. Just be honest, which it is. It
I
isn't.
think it's the latter for me. I honestly have no anger, no animosity, no sadness, anything because of the growth that I've had. And I don't know if I have to thank you for that, Shri, for putting that perspective into my life where you could have anything you want. Because so this is I don't think I ever told you this, but since I started working way back when we met, that was my first job, right? And since back then I always would
When you
tell
met me?
myself, yeah, that was my
Oh,
first job.
yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, in terms of the week, right? So ever since then to now, I've always been in my head, but I would say it jokingly, right? Saying that I want a rich man so that he could take care of me and I don't have to work. And we all say those things and we all make those jokes. And I was always throughout my working career saying that. But you say it not knowing that like the universe is telling you this is probably what you're destined for. But you say it thinking it's so far-fetched and so unreal, so you say it as a joke. Um, and it's only now as they getting older, or I'm getting older that I realize that but this is not as far-fetched because you have a good position, so you could support yourself. And then, of course, the guy that I might get is even more successful. So when you start to put the logic together, it's not that far-fetched, right?
So, but isn't it
Yeah.
really a good example of how you could want something but not believe you could have it? And that is what
Mm-hmm.
creates nuts as well. Excuse me, in reality. So, like you could totally want, and nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with wanting to be with someone where you have no worries and no cares. Nothing is wrong with that. You came to
Yeah.
experience that, right? So, and that's another thing. We put shame on it because, society will make you feel, oh, well, you're just lazy and you don't want to work. And
Mm-hmm.
you could
Mm-hmm.
be with someone who is, let's just say, wealthy, and you still would continue your same work or have your own business. So you would have something thriving as well
Mm-hmm.
and still be you and still be wonderful, but you're just in a partnership with someone where you don't literally have to worry about anything, and nothing is wrong with that. But because we don't believe we could have it, that's what creates the universe is like, well, okay, well, what do you really want? You want somebody who's rich, or
Yeah.
and that is how
Yeah.
we experience different things. But yeah, you could totally have, and maybe that's why I remember one time we did some meditation, and I just felt like your person is a completely wealthy person. I remember the
Mm-hmm.
meditation. Maybe that's why, because you have that as a desire, but it's just, and maybe you're there now, working on knowing you completely deserve it, and nothing is wrong
Mm-hmm.
with wanting it.
Yeah. I remember that um meditation or that session we did. I think it was in one of the Magnetize.
A group
Yeah, the
session.
group session. And that has always stuck with me. And it's saying it now, like bringing all of this up, because I never forgot when you said that, right? Straight when you said you're seeing you, and I remember how you said it. You said, I don't know why, but I'm seeing like extreme wealth for you. And I never told you the story about starting work and always making these jokes. So I think it's just everything just lining up exactly how it's supposed to.
Yeah, so be open and know you deserve it. Know you worth is about having the requirements. You
Mhm.
have all the requirements for it because you're a unique human. You're beautiful, you're intelligent, you're loving, you're nurturing. You have all the
Mhm.
requirements for it. And being deserving is knowing that you you do deserve. The other word for deserve is entitled, which we have a lot of um, judgment around, so I don't like to use that word.
Mhm.
But you do deserve to have whoever you want in your
Mhm.
life. It could be whoever, right? You do deserve that profile, that person, and inviting him into your life, of course, is knowing you deserve it and that he
Yeah.
will choose you, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, being chosen is a big part of it too.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, good. So how do you feel about your? Okay, and the other thing I wanted to talk about, I feel we will have to do this in two sessions. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the thought of having to start over and like
Mhm.
go through dating, because I think that's something that comes up
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are your, is it just a timeline, or what are your fears around that?
I think it's um the timeline in terms of, and I know this is something we talked about before, in my age, and I always wanted, and I know because I wanted it's possible and it will happen for me, that I would at least have another child, at least one, but more preferably two, with my person, right? My soulmate or just the person that I spend the rest of my life with. And I'm getting old, I mean, but in essence now I know I've always told you this, right, Shri? And you always tell me, go and look at celebrities who had kids, and you even sent me some of them, right? And then there's also like situations. So my boss recently had a baby and she is close to 45. So she's
All right.
right. And then my best friend, the same one that I went out with last night, her boss is currently pregnant, due in December, and she is also over 40, between that 40-45 age group. So I just saying that to let you know, like, even though I'm thinking it still, I think the universe is trying to
Oh, you're stuck, Liz.
having kids. Lisa, I probably put one on myself, but there's no age limit.
No, but that's good because that's confirmation for you. So the universe is sending you confirmation that way. There's no rush.
Hmm.
It's all still possible.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So I want you to take that in. But I want to ask you, were there times in the past where you wanted things to go a certain way, um, and it didn't, but staying open and trusting led you to something even better?
Um, yeah. So I felt like my entire life has always been a routine, right? Or not routine, but something that I planned out a certain way. I mean, my daughter wasn't planned, but when it happened, I started to plan that, okay, well, I'm going to marry her father, right? So we will be married and I remember having all these things in my head, right? She would, when she's a certain age, we'll get married so that she could be the flower girl and things like I remember all of that.
Ah.
And that didn't work out. He was my first relationship.
Mhm.
That didn't work out. And every relationship, I mean, they all wasn't favorable relationships. They all ended, but I mean, they all were improvement from him. Not to make it sound bad.
It does sound bad, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean? So if I had just forced that whole life for myself, I would have never reached. I don't think I would have been as successful as I am right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's important to recognize that because we are educated and groomed to plan and have
Mm-hmm.
milestones, especially in the corporate world where you are. Plan and have milestones and work towards it and put your blinders on and keep focused. But life is not like that. Life,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it can be like that. It can be like that, and you can check boxes, and there is love and appreciation from that. But there's also having a desire, setting an intention, and remaining open to how it will unfold, knowing that, or staying, having faith in your vision for what you want, right? So sometimes, a lot of times, it doesn't look exactly like we want it to look. And at a meta level, the timelines are not so important. Like
Yeah.
the difference between 30 and 34 is not such a thing on the meta level. Down here, it might be like, oh, that's 4 years,
Yeah.
right? But at
Yeah.
the meta level, it's not there's not much difference between years, even decades. It's not much difference. It's more for you to learn your lessons. So what I want to ask you, so we'll have to do the parts work because the parts work takes about 20 minutes. So I'll have to do it the next
Okay.
time. But what I want to ask you is, for you now, do you think you are able to, I know you said you decided, but to let go and trust as much as you humanly possibly can? It may waver,
Uh-huh.
it's okay. right? But
Mm.
I want to know on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe I could do a short exercise with you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much, and be honest, right? How much are you willing to or feel comfortable letting go and trusting that it will unfold in the most perfect way for you? It's okay if the answer is 2 or 1, right? It's okay. Just be honest.
Yeah. Well, I think it's higher than that, but I know there's improvement to be done. I think I might give myself like a 5 or 6.
A 5. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's just do a short meditation around it, right? So, because I've worked with you a lot, I could do this quickly with you, right? But, and just if
Okay.
things are watching for, like, if you're a brand new client, it would take me longer to do this. But Lise understands all my meditations, and she said this herself quickly, so I could do it quickly with her, right?
Okay.
So again, you're just planting your feet flat into the ground, feeling supported, and sitting in your chair, feeling supported and comforted by the seat, rotating your shoulders, and we're just gonna take. You could rotate your neck as well. We're just gonna take a deep breath in and out. Another breath in and out. Last time in and out. And I just want you to picture yourself just feeling light and free, maybe in a garden, a scene that you like. And as you look down, there's a bucket of paint. Maybe it's any color you like, it may be blue or red. And that bucket of paint has the label confidence on it. And just notice how confidence in your journey, confidence that things can unfold in the most perfect way for you. And just notice how the paint is shimmering and glimmering, lighting up. And then to the next side of you, so this one again, any color you see, it may be blue or red, a different color, is a next bucket of paint that says trust and let go. Trust and let go on your journey because you are filled with everything inside of you to guide you internally by following your intuition. And again, notice the paint, notice the color, notice it glimmers. And you can then notice your higher self coming in, and you can notice what she has on, what she's wearing, the big smile on her face, how proud of you she is for being on this journey. And as you look at the paint, just picture her going into the bucket with the confidence, whatever color you're seeing, scooping it up and just throwing it at you, playfully splashing it all over you until she picks up all and you're completely covered in confidence. And immediately you feel your confidence in your journey and how things gonna unfold go straight up the dial to a 10. And just soak in this confidence, let it absorb into your skin. Confidence in your journey, confidence that whatever is to happen is happening for your greater good and is leading you to your soul person. And just feel how this feels in your body. Can you picture that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then notice her go to the next pot of paint, which is trusting and letting go. Having faith, those words. And again, see her picking it up with her hand, like scooping up some paint. And again, splashing you with it, playfully throwing it all over you. And as it falls in your skin, as it drips in your skin, it's absorbed into your skin. And the confidence to be able to trust and let go and let things unfold and to enjoy the journey and to know that it's all working out in your favor and to not be afraid of beginnings and endings, but just to see it as a continuous epic romance of your earth life. Every end has a beginning, and every beginning has an end. But at a meta level, it's just one continuous flow of lessons to your soul person, your soulmate. And just feel how this trusting and letting go feels in your body. Feel how freeing it is, how you feel more free, how you don't have to worry, that you know that everything is working out for you. And just see if you can change that 5 and carry it straight up to whatever number feels right for you at this point in time. See how it feels, and you could even play with it. See how it feels to reduce it. See how it feels to turn it all the way up to 10. See how it feels and see what number you can settle at this point in time. Knowing that the feeling of trusting and letting go is a feeling of freedom and a feeling of trust in your, whoever you pray to, your God, your higher beings. Can you picture that?
Yeah, like that.
And what number are you comfortable taking it to? The trust
10.
and letting go to 10. Okay, good. And you can, your higher self is there. So if you want to ask her anything to help you, you can, but she's completely enthralled by you and your journey, and she's standing for your journey and standing for you, believing in your journey. So I'm just gonna breathe, and anything you want to ask, you can ask. All right. And you can picture her giving you a hug, maybe still like bidding you farewell, like flicking some paint on you just playfully. And as she goes off, just absorb everything that you received, knowing and trusting that your journey is going to unfold in better ways that you can ever imagine. And the key and secret is remaining true to your vision, trusting, and letting go of expectation. All right, and we're going to take a deep breath in and out. Another breath in and out. Last time in and out. All right, so when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How do you feel?
Good, good. Very light and
So how do you feel about your journey and not knowing what to expect, but trusting that it is working out for you?
a lot better. So what my higher
Yes.
person, my higher me told me was that it it's happening sooner than you think. It's gonna happen, but you just have to just enjoy the journey right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So try. I know it may not be easy, but just try as much as you can to let go of the expectation. And when you feel it coming, when you
Mhm.
feel like, wait, but why, just ask yourself, how can I love myself in this moment? And you just do something like that and enjoy that. And the more you enjoy
Yeah.
it, it will happen. And that is the key. That is the key. to, like, you know, like not fearing the beginning and the ending, the dating basically. Not
Yeah.
fearing.
Yeah.
As you said, each one leads you to a better one.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes,
if something
correct.
ends, it's just like, oh wait, there's a better one out
Better
there.
cover that. Yeah.
Come on, Mama. Yeah, go ahead. I'll come in. All right.
Mhm.
And you got it up to 10.
Yeah, I did. So what happened? I was, as I said, play with it to see how it feels. I didn't really get a feeling, but when I put it down, I noticed I was getting smaller, and then when I dial it up, I was getting bigger.
Okay,
So a
good.
lot of my visualizations these days, I've noticed that the increased feelings, positive feelings, is making me view myself like this giant, more or less.
Good.
So, and then by turning it up, so because I was like getting smaller and getting bigger, I just turned it all the way up and left it there.
Good. And that is actually in NLP, that is actually a technique that we use um, to help persons understand that the more you want to like see yourself alive and especially when you're working on self-worth and stuff, is literally picturing yourself on a screen getting bigger. And the things that you don't
Uh,
like in your life, you could get it smaller and see it going away. And I would have weaved it into meditations, but that is something
yeah,
is used in NLP.
yeah, okay, okay.
So that's really good. That and the bigger you see yourself, and it's never from, we get worried that I don't want to be narcissistic or I don't want to have an ego, but it's not about that. It's just knowing your worth and value. There's a,
Yeah, yeah, I
like
agree.
a peaceful queen, not queen who uses her power for bad, but like a peaceful
Right.
queen. I have this power and I am filled with it. I love it. I honor it, and I use it to help other persons. And in your case, that would be like nurturing your daughter and nurturing your relationships with your friends and
Right.
things.
Right. Yeah.
So I know you need to leave at 12. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
yes. And this session here, what was your biggest takeaway?
Um, that last meditation, sometimes I feel like it's so hard to change how you feel about yourself, your confidence, and all these things. But I mean, it's just a switch of a dial, like, and you're in a way better place.
That's the power of
Yeah.
the mind, right? And
Right.
you look better. You look
Yeah.
like you're occupying more space, which we have to honor the space that we're occupying and not minimize ourselves. Because we came here to
Yeah.
occupy space and be human. All right, so that brings us to the end of our session. But if you need anything, just message me, right? I'll have to do the parts.
Okay.
That meditation takes a little while. It'll take about 20 minutes.
Okay.
I'll probably just start with that so I don't run out of time next time.
Okay. All right. Thanks so
Okay.
much, Ray.
You're welcome. Have a good week. Bye.
You too. Bye.